All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
Well, I got a burr under my saddle.
We talk, you listen.
Somebody that's going to take an innocent life is not mentally insane?
You know them.
Time to nut up or shut up.
You love to hate them.
It's the Denton and Sasquatch Show.
You're a good team.
Can I bring my AR-15 next time?
Sure.
Yes.
This place is half talk show, half weird daycare. I love it.
You can't handle the truth.
Hello and welcome once again to the Denton and Sasquatch Show, coming to you COVID-free so far from both California and Alabama. My name is Sasquatch. I'm in California. His name is Denton. He is in Alabama, and somehow through modern technology, we are coming into your ears.
We have this social distancing thing down pat. So, yep, hope everybody's healthy, wealthy, and wiser than a Democrat. And I'm sorry, that was rude. Anyway.
Well, maybe rude, but true.
We have quite a few things to talk about. Maybe a little corona thrown in there to some extent, but not specifically about it. So if you're thinking you want to turn us off because you hear that crap on the mainstream media news all the time, relax, stick around. But first, Sass is going to share some personal information with us.
Yeah, it's about COVID. No. We just found out this weekend, and it sucks to say, but Hot Nursey's grandma has the COVID.
Wow.
She is
sorry to hear that.
90 years old.
How's she doing?
She's actually doing well. The doctor said that she is in tip-top shape, and unless something goes real sideways, she should be good. I guess she's always been a really strong sort of woman. I mean, she's 90 and she lives on her own. Cooks her own food, cleans her own house, still does all that kind of stuff. She's one of those type of women. But unfortunately, she let her two dipshit grandsons live with her, and they're both into the weed and the booze and stuff. So they're out partying with their friends, and of course they both catch it. And then bring it home to her. And, they're...
Really? Your grandkids?
Yeah. And they're in their, 30s or whatever. Which, living with your grandma in your 30s, come on now. So they give it to her, and they're going to be fine because they're young. She's the only one that's got to worry. Really, the only problem with her is she hasn't been eating in the hospital because she doesn't like the hospital food.
Well...
Because she is
That's surprising. I thought everybody did.
She is a Hispanic woman, and they don't have, Hispanic food. And when I say Hispanic, she's actually from Spain, not from Mexico, but...
So she's Spanish?
Yes.
Okay.
But anyway, I just wanted to mention that, and, we're not really worried because she's a fighter. She's doing all right.
Well, that's amazing because Dr. Fauci and Dr. Works and pretty much told us that if old people get it, they're dead. If diabetics get it, they're dead.
Yeah, but she doesn't have any of those problems.
Well, that's good, but she is old, and that's an underlying illness to them.
Yeah. Well, hopefully she's ornery enough that she can just kick it out of her and keep on going.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good news. Glad she's doing good. Sorry that she has a couple of ragnot grandsons that gave it to her to begin with, though.
Yeah, but, every family's got them.
Yeah. But now she has part of the herd immunity, right?
I would think so after she, gets cleared. We only found out over the weekend, but now moving on a little bit, kind of. Over the weekend, I myself went to Arizona, decided I needed to go to a free state for a little while. Mm-hmm. And now that I've said that, Gavin Newsom will probably have his jackbooted thugs come in here and arrest me.
Mm-hmm. Somebody's going to snitch on you?
Probably. But, that was good times. Anyway, speaking of Governor Gavin Newsom, over the weekend, there were tons of protests here in California because really what he's doing is just saying, hey, I'm the boss, you do what I say, and if you don't, I'm just going to drag this thing out. He's like that, I think this may have been the analogy before, but the teacher in Breakfast Club. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, sure do.
The stoner guy,
So,
Judd Nelson's character says something. He goes, "Oh, that's a week's detention." He says something else. "Oh, that's 2 weeks." Oh, that's 3 weeks, and he just keeps adding on. That's kind of what Newsom thinks he's doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a little tired.
Yeah, pretty much. But he seems to have folded a little bit. Actually, my brother, while I was in Arizona, because he lives in Huntington Beach, where one of the big protests was, he was out there with his wife, and they had signs, and he was videotaping it and sending me video of it, which was kind of cool. But Governor Gavin Newsom announced that California will allow, well, okay, let me backtrack here. I'm reading this off a story, but what he said last week after everybody went, well, not this weekend, but the week before this weekend, a lot of people went to the beach, and they were told you can't go to the beach. Well, they said F you, and they went anyway. So what he did is he said, okay, you all went to the beach, so we're extending this because you didn't listen to me. You didn't do what I say. So one of the big ones was Orange County, which is where Huntington Beach is, which is where I used to live. And so what he did was he opened all the beaches in California except Orange County. So does that sound like it's for safety, or does that sound like punishment?
You little children need to be spanked.
Exactly. So Huntington Beach, being a fairly big amount of rebellious type people, decided to say, well, F and you, and we're going to go protest you. And that is what they did.
This is why I'm aware of the protests. One of the protests, there was a video of a Marine with a bullhorn that was basically shaming the cops.
I read his statement. I didn't see it or hear it, but I did read it, and yeah.
And that was kind of good. And the cops said, you know what, this guy's right, and they kind of got out of the way.
Well, I know the cops down in Newport
makes me feel good about cops.
Yeah, I know that the cops down in Newport Beach were saying, hey, we're not going to mess with anybody that is not breaking a normal law. If you want to come down here, you paid for this beach, so have at it. As long as you're not breaking stuff or peeing on the walls or, drunk in public, then we're cool. So that was good to hear. But anyway, after this protest this weekend, today being Monday, Governor Gavin Newsom announced that California will allow some retail businesses to reopen with modifications as early as this Friday amid encouraging coronavirus benchmarks. We are entering into the next phase this week, Newsom said in his daily press briefing. This is a very positive sign, and it's happened only for one reason. The data says it can happen. Okay, well, no data has changed since the last time he said we couldn't go to the beach or open things up. So what has changed? The fact that thousands of people got into the streets and protested, that's what changed.
That was all the data he needed.
And that's the thing with Newsom. He always talks about, we're doing this by data. We're figuring everything out. The data is what speaks to us and tells us what, but he never explains the data. He just says we're doing it by the data, or data, depending on how you want to call it. Tomato. But anyway, the businesses will include places such as book, clothing, toy, and sporting goods stores, as well as music shops and florists, said the governor. Now, those are kind of odd.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes on, this phase of California's reopening will not include malls, offices, or sit-down service restaurants. Those businesses that can reopen Friday will have to abide to restrictions such as physical distancing and delivering orders at curbside. Detailed guidelines about Phase 2 reopening will be released on Thursday, according to Newsom. Okay, so he's opening these things up on Friday, but he's not going to release the details until Thursday. So that gives business owners one whole day to figure out what they're going to do.
Well, he's such a wonderful leader. It doesn't make sense. Look, I'm mad at my governor because I still can't get a daggum haircut.
I told that story, right? That I went to a haircut down here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, somebody opened up. But yeah, they're still not giving them here, but at least there's a few rebels around here that are giving haircuts.
Well, I am making a little extra money on the side.
Oh, yeah, doing
All I
what?
have to do is sit outside Walmart. Yeah, just with my hat on the ground and people for 5s and 10s in there.
Wear your camo
No,
jacket.
really, I look like a homeless man.
Say you're a vet, which you are. You're not lying.
Nope.
Now, the funny thing about
It
Newsom,
wouldn't work around here.
for anybody that doesn't know who Newsom is, you've probably seen him on CNN or one of the shows because he always loves to go on there and blabber about everything. But he's the pretty boy governor here. This guy, he is so out of touch with people because he's never had to do anything in his entire life. He has had everything handed to him. He's related to the Pelosi's by marriage. His parents were into politics. I forget exactly what his dad did, but it's a dynasty. The family's always been in it, and he's never had to do a single thing. He got basically handed the God damn it, what do you call that? The assistant governor? Not the assistant governor. Not the vice governor. What do you call the governor? Not the governor, but the guy below him.
Lieutenant governor.
There you go, lieutenant governor. Wow, I just totally brain farted. He got handed that, and that's the way it works in California. You get handed that, and basically, when the next guy leaves, you get it. And that's exactly what happened. He got it, and he doesn't know what he's doing. Doesn't have a clue. So, time came when they gave him unprecedented powers, and he just said, well, I'm the dictator now. I get to say what you get to do. And a lot of Californians said, no, you don't. And that scared them, which is a good thing for people to remember. People like him, bullies, when you force their hand, they back down usually.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a good thing to remember.
Well, it happened in Virginia, too.
Oh, yeah?
The governor of Virginia backed off this ridiculous gun confiscation bullcrap.
Oh, yeah. Well, Michigan needs to start doing backing down a little bit too, because apparently her and who's the other one, the Karen looking one. Where is she? I can't think of her name, but she's another one that's being a dictator and telling everybody that they just got to do whatever she says.
Well, I got to tell you, I have to be totally honest with you. I am so burnt out on this coronavirus, kung flu, Chi-Com disease. It's nauseating to me now.
Yep.
You turn on the TV, and that's all they're going to talk about.
Yeah, everybody is. I mean, that's why people decided to finally go out and protest, because we were told all we have to do is flatten the curve and keep the hospitals from being overrun, and we can open back up. So we did that. We said, okay, we'll all stay at home. We'll lose a little money, maybe some jobs, whatever. We did that. And then he said, oh, well, now we have to do this, and then we have to do this before we can open. And people just started going, wait a second, you're moving the goalpost here. And so, yeah, that's what happened. But I'm sick of it, too. You got anything that's not COVID related?
No. But it's it's a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Because, all this is a virus. I understand that. But just like Goofy Gavin is doing, we need to do this. And everybody said, okay, that sounds rational to us. And then, well, you know what? I'm in control now, and I will say you can't go back to work or do anything yet. You can't go to the store. This is not brainwashing, but it's control of the population.
Uh-huh.
They're trying to get us used to this, and that's a great thing about Californians getting out there and protesting and getting in his face. You guys are saying, no, you're not the tyrant. You're not going to tell us that we can't go to the beach, you little punk. Okay, and so now they're looking back, they're sitting back going, I guess the people aren't conditioned enough yet.
Yep.
At least in California. That's good.
We need to give more Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that there's a thread started by Slippy. We've had Slippy on the show. Everybody loves Slippy. At prepperforums.net. And by the way, if you want to hang out with us, we hang out at prepperforums.net. You can also contact us at Denton and Sass Show at gmail.com.
And might I add, really quick, that Slippy is a handsome gentleman.
Uh-oh. You just kind of disturb me. Just want you to know.
All right,
anyway, his little thread here is called Certain States Are Asking for Federal Money. Screw that. Start selling state assets. Now, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to tell you that he's irritated because some of the state governments are wanting the federal government to give them money. And not only is it just the state governors, blue state governors, there are blue congressmen up there who are wanting this next bloated relief package to include that. certain states getting federal money, certain states that are in deep doo-doo as far as their fiscal policies to begin with, want to use this as an excuse to get money. Now, I asked a very simple question, I thought. Where does the Constitution allow for such a thing? And somebody responded, said, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 1. Okay, and it's because it's got the word or the phrase general welfare. Now, that sounds kind of general, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
For lack of better ways of putting it. But here's the thing about general welfare, and I had to do some, and I thought this is pretty clear and obvious. Turns out it's not. Okay, turns out even the founding fathers had a discussion about this. James Madison was very adamant that no, it's not just so you can collect money and spend it willy-nilly, but Alexander Hamilton had a more liberal, if you will, viewpoint on it, and thought, yeah, whatever general thing. But here's the thing. What is general? If a state wants to say, hey, I need federal money, give it to me, does that sound general? I'm asking.
Generally speaking, it sounds kind of general, yes.
But it's specific when you say.
What, when they say,
Now,
I need money?
Yeah.
Well, unless they...
My state, we are physically stupid. Our follies have put us in a moronic position. So what we want the people in Alabama, Florida, Texas, Oregon, Idaho, to cough up their money to support us.
Yeah, when you put it like that, then no, it's definitely not general. But when they just say, hey, we want some money, and the federal government says, yeah, why? And they go, just because. Now that's general.
Okay, yeah,
but you know what they're going to do with it.
Saying. Right, and money is what do you call that when it's fungible?
Mm-hmm.
Even if the federal government says you can only use this money for COVID-related things, well, the governor can say, fine, we're good with that. So they move money around.
Oh yeah, we're gonna
the money that was going to be.
No, sorry. It was we'll take all this money that was going to be for something else, and we'll buy respirators with it. And then, you need to reimburse us for these respirators, but then that money goes to the teachers union or the whatever union or.
Exactly. Now, here's something. This is from the 10th Amendment Center. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 1 of the Constitution, the General Welfare Clause, is often referred to as the Taxing and Spending Clause because of its expansive use today. Many people claim it gives the feds the authority to do anything imaginable as long as it promotes the general welfare. However, one might define it. But this creates a dilemma. Either James Madison and other supporters of the Constitution were lying when they said the powers of the federal government would be few and defined, or people have misconstrued the legal meaning of this clause. The existence of the enumerated powers resolves this dilemma. In other words, if you go to Article 1, Section 8, you'll see that there is a list of things. And as a matter of fact, I'm not going to do it again, but we have gone through this list to borrow money on the credit of the United States, to coin money, regulate the value thereof, and foreign coins. And these are specific things Congress is in charge of. All right? Now, if you're going to have a list of enumerated powers, and then you just decide you're going to throw in something, but on top of that, general welfare, you can spend and do as you want. Would make no sense. Illogical. Anyway, back to the article here, the existence of enumerated powers resolves this dilemma. As Alexander Hamilton wrote in Federalist 83, this specification of particulars, the 18th Amendment, and by the way, I had my people kind of mixed up, but you'll see that in a minute. This specific of particulars, the 18th enumerated powers of Article 1, Section 8, evidently excludes all pretension to a general legislative authority, because an affirmative grant of specific powers would be absurd as well as useless if a general authority was intended. James Madison reinforced this view to a letter to Henry Lee. He said, What think of you of Hamilton's commentary on the terms general welfare? The federal government has been hitherto limited to the specified powers, if not, we're both kind of good tonight. If not only the means, but the objects are unlimited, the parchment had better be thrown into the fire at once. He's talking about the Constitution. Okay, so what they're saying is no, it's not giving federal government authority to just throw money around. Okay, as a matter of fact, it specifically is meant to where you can't take general funds or federal tax dollars collected from every person, corporation, and give it to specific things that is not meant for general welfare of the country. Look, if California wants to try to go down some communistic, godless road, and that's what the people want to do, and it seems that's what the people want to do because, well, Gavin Newsom is a governor, right?
Yep, we've been trying it.
So if that's what, if this is what they want to do, I'm sorry, but it's not my responsibility to bail them out. And Slippy is absolutely correct. There are things, first off, give them money, and all you're doing is saying, hey, you know what? We're going to reinforce your stupid behavior. Because you can come to the federal treasury here and just grab money whenever you want to. You just ask for it, you whine, you kick your feet, and we're going to say, okay, whatever, give it to them, just make them shut up. No. Okay? What they can do is, first off, pull their fiscal heads out of the butts and do right. Okay, you're in a bind now. Lay off personnel that aren't needed. Sell things. Cut taxes so businesses will flourish in your state again. Therefore, you'll get more tax money.
But
there are a lot of things, but they don't want to try any of this. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to change their ways.
Yes, because if you try that, it will show the failure of their socialist ways. So they don't want to do that.
That's absolutely correct. Now, where was I had something else here pulled up.
Well, real quick, while you're looking for it, the very first thing you read there, I've got it up in front of me as well, and let me read this really quick. The Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises to pay the debt and provide for the common defense and general welfare. That's what you said. That's where you stopped, of the United States. Mm-hmm. And then it goes on to say, but all duties, imposts, and excises shall be uniform throughout the United States. So for me, right there, it says, no, you know, Michigan can't just come and Hawaii and let's say Nevada and ask for this. No, it has to be going to everybody equally and for the good of certain things, not just because you blew it.
And that's what general welfare means. Exactly. That, you should have started this. We could have already been done.
I rest my case, Your Honor.
Yes, but this is this is from Legal Dictionary, thefreedictionary.com. I want to point this out. This clause, called the General Welfare Clause or the Spending Power Clause, does not grant Congress power to legislate for the general welfare of the country. That is a power reserved to the states through the 10th Amendment. Okay, the 10th Amendment. Let's kick over here. The power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved for the states respectively or to the people. Okay, now, we understood, we've discussed this before. With every right comes responsibility, correct?
Yep.
Now, governors have the responsibility, they have the right to do whatever their state constitutions say, but they also have the responsibility for the general welfare of their people, correct?
Yeah.
Many constitutions, many state constitutions have this same thing in there. And this is meaning take care of, you stay in your lane, you take care of what you're supposed to take care of. Also, individuals have the responsibility along with their rights. You have the right to go to the movie. You have the right to go buy a pack of cigarettes. You have the responsibility not to come to me hat in hand because you drove yourself into bankruptcy. Now, that goes up to the states. Apparently, it doesn't go to the feds, though, because they're just $24 trillion, I think, they're needing to cover everything from this COVID crap.
Yeah.
However, we cannot go bankrupt. I see a problem here. They have rights. Congress has rights, but they also have responsibilities they seem to ignore. But the point of the matter that I'm trying to make here is, no, general welfare does not mean that you can take from the federal coffers and give it to a specific state for when they're whining about this, or a specific corporation. But here's another thing that you need to understand. There's never been a court case settled over common welfare, general welfare. Never. Now, it'll be found unconstitutional for other reasons. A lot of times the 10th Amendment will be used, but there's never been a time when the Supreme Court ruled because of general welfare. So all of this is moot. California, New York, get your wallets out. We're going to put some money in it. Guarantee you, this is what's going to happen. So anyway, I just wanted to clarify that because I don't think a lot of people really get into the Constitution. The Federalist Papers, anti-Federalist, well, many letters these old fellows wrote, know the history of the crafting of the Constitution. I think if we had more of that, we'd have less corrupt politicians.
Well, I know one thing. With everybody staying home, people have had plenty of time to read the Federalist Papers and the Constitution, so, shame on you for not doing that.
They haven't done it. Yes, they've been playing video games. Anyway, that's all I want to say there.
Maybe that's what they need. They need a video game where you have to learn the Constitution to go up higher in the game.
Well, that would be very good. Yes, get right on it.
It could be like, I don't know, what's a big video game? Call of Duty, or I don't know, any of those, or Grand Theft Auto, but except set back in the colonial days. Where you're stealing a stagecoach or a cart and buggy, and before you get to the next level, you have to learn each of the amendments. I'm sorry, that just tickled me.
I'm about to say, you're tickling yourself, aren't you? Yeah.
I am, because I could totally see it. All right, well,
I just wonder if the same people who are willing to play a video game that has them stealing stagecoaches and stuff are really going to be interested in the Constitution.
Probably not, but it would kind of force them to learn, I don't know. Then maybe they'd be into shooting people in the face with a musket. I don't know. But all right, but along the same lines, I have a story here. There's President Donald Trump told Democrats this week that he will be demanding adjustment for sanctuary cities in order for their relief bill to be signed. Both parties are taking partisan paths toward the next round of passing emergency COVID relief. And this is kind of like what you were just talking about. Oh, yeah, everything's for COVID. The Democrats are demanding at least $500 billion to spread across states drained by businesses shut down. Trump said wow, we are both really bad today. Trump said his reasoning for adding this condition was because he didn't want to reward Democrat-controlled states for their 25 years of bad management. If it's COVID-related, I guess we can talk about it, the president told reporters at the White House, but we want certain things also, including sanctuary city adjustments. We have so many people in sanctuary cities which don't even think are popular by the radical left folks. People are being protected that shouldn't be protected, and a lot of bad things are happening with sanctuary cities. So, I don't know. Maybe he is willing to wheel and deal and go, and like you said, it shouldn't happen, but it's going to happen. But I even hate to say this, but at least he's working on the sanctuary thing. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I don't know how he's working. Yeah, but it's not going to be in there. Yeah. And he's not going to veto the bill.
Most likely, no.
Because everybody knows the mainstream media is 100% against him. And so it will be just nothing but, more negativity directed at the president. Mm-hmm. He's letting children die.
Oh, of course. They'll show pictures of children.
And he's racist.
Of course he is. Orange man bad.
Right, that's exactly it. Well, this has been I got a compliment a couple of days ago.
Really?
Our listeners said that, that last episode was very funny.
Probably because we were both drunk.
Were we? I don't remember.
No, we weren't drunk. Very rarely do.
Yeah.
I don't even think didn't drinks anymore, but Very rarely do I do the show drunk. Maybe I should do it more often.
But, well, I thanked him. You know, it was very kind of him to say that. Then I thought to myself, we're funny? I didn't know we were heading for funny. I thought we were supposed to be political commentators.
Well, I mean, I try to keep things entertaining, because just to listen to two guys go on and say, and Trump and the COVID, and that's really boring.
Oh, get our NPR voices on again.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, so you did very well last time. That was very good.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, I play off of you. It's a team effort here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just totally derailed what you were talking about.
No. Hey, did I mention that Slippy is a very handsome man?
You are a sick, hairy individual.
Hey, it's okay if I say another guy's a handsome guy.
Well, you're not going to elaborate, are you?
Why he's a handsome guy? Well, no, there was a thread where, I forget what it was, on prepperforms.net, where he posted a picture of himself because he shaves his head. And he's got the big
the haircut.
Yeah, he's got the big old goatee going. And I said, hey, Slippy is a very handsome guy. I can see why Mrs. Slippy's into him.
All right. Well, so you can, you're bonding with Mrs. Slippy over Slippy.
I guess if you want to put it that way.
This conversation has turned really weird.
I guess it has. We'll move on. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. This is somewhat COVID related, I guess. Losing the Kentucky Derby has left fans shell shocked. The first Saturday in May has yielded to the legs of a bunch of slowpokes. Seattle Slow headlines a field of turtles. Yes, turtles that will race in the Kentucky Turtle Derby. Call it the slowest 8 minutes in sports. The race is more methodical than marathon. That mad dash to the finish, though the victor can win at the line by a turtleneck. This is like riddled with puns rather than a nose. And it's just one more offbeat sport that has had a moment during the coronavirus pandemic. The Derby, America's longest continuously held sports event, has been scheduled for May 2nd. It will now run on September 5th, kicking off Labor Day weekend. It's the first time the Derby won't be held on its traditional first Saturday in May since 1945, when it was run June 9th. The federal government suspended horse racing nationwide for most of the first half of the year before World War II ended in early May, but not in time to hold the first leg of the Triple Crown that month. So there you go. If you're jonesing for a little horse racing, well, you can watch a little turtle racing.
What does Snell say when he's riding on the back of a turtle?
What?
Whee! Sorry.
Wow. Oh, man, people are groaning all over right now.
Oh, yeah. I love watching our numbers, see how bad, because, people watch it and go, I ain't listening to those morons again, and so our numbers drop.
Well,
You'd think we'd try to do better.
We do have a very small legion of followers that seem to stick around even when we do crappy shows, so that's good. And speaking of which, a lot of them want to be able to call into the show, and we just have no time to figure out how to do that. But one thing that would be fun is if we did a live show where you could at least... we could have like a message box where people could message during the show, and we could, say what their messages are and talk about them. So if anybody out there knows a good site or something that can host something like that, I used to do it on one a long time ago, and I forgot the name of it, but it was a big pain. You had to download a bunch of stuff. If there's one out there that you know of that you pretty much just go to and do it, let us know. DentonandSassShow@gmail.com. And maybe one of these days soon we can do a live show so people can actually comment on what we're talking about.
That would be fun. Now, that would be very fun.
Yep.
But then I'd be expected to read and talk at the same time.
Well, I'll have the message board on my computer. I'll do all the reading, but...
Okay.
It's like...
Otherwise, y'all be able to...
It's like walking and chewing bubble gum for you. I don't want to trip you up too much.
No, you'd be listening to the aneurysm, brain exploding.
Just hear Denton.
Keep the sentences shorter, you jerk. Anyway.
And you are a grammar Nazi, so you'd be correcting everybody's grammar.
I don't want to be a grammar Nazi.
It's
just
It's TOO, you moron.
It's just that, everybody, so many people at prepperforms.net, they make it a target-rich environment. But I've learned, not everybody is illiterate.
They're just lazy.
Everybody uses their look, they use their texting devices.
Yeah.
Or phones. Okay, so you're sitting there, you're trying to type on the stupid thing. It's got the little buttons, virtual buttons. You're making mistakes. You're trying to correct. You're going back. Finally, they'll figure it out. You just let it roll.
Oh, I can't tell you how many times I've been on my phone typing, and it's like somebody got a message from me saying, duck you, buddy. It's like, what? Oh, autocorrect did that. All right, never mind.
Yeah, so, and I'm waiting for a job, sitting in a Kubota, 105-degree heat, looking at this thing, trying to type, and then anybody around me thinks I broke out in Tourette's syndrome. But no, it's technology. Okay, well, are we done?
Yeah, I think we are.
All right. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this little episode. Obviously, we're just as disciplined with our information and our discussion as always. So I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, I hope y'all stick around. We'll be doing this again, I don't know, next Monday. Never going to promise another midweek show again because one of us are always either sick or just can't do it. But we are shooting for Mondays.
So far, so good.
So I'm pretty sure we're not doomed. Well, never say that, because if you say we're not doomed, bam, there's an asteroid. Something's going to kill us right there. Never let your guard down. We are doomed, Sass, so what should we do?
Well, unfortunately, my ice is melted, but do like I'm doing. Drink up.
All right. Good night, everybody. See you next week.
I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city. It's a long, long wait while I'm sitting in committee. But I know I'll be a law someday. At least I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill.